All right, let's just jump right in. We're all chasing more self-discipline, aren't we? I mean, who isn't? But what if? What if the way we've all been taught to think about it, that whole grind it out, no pain, no gain thing, is just completely backward? What if the stuff you find hardest could actually start to feel, well, easy?
No, really, think about this for a second. That entrepreneur you admire, the one putting in 16-hour days, the pro athlete who never misses a training session, do you honestly believe they just hated every minute of it? That they were miserable, forcing themselves through every single rep, every single email? Come on, there's got to be something else at play here, right?
And this quote from the source material just nails it. If you feel like you have to force yourself to do something to achieve your goals, you're going to lose. See, that feeling of having to force it, that isn't you being strong. That's a huge red flag. It's basically your brain telling you, hey, this approach, it's broken. It's not going to last. So let's start by just tearing down this whole myth, the self-discipline lie. You hear self-discipline, and what pops into your head? Probably some intense Rocky-style montage, right? Like you've got to suffer to succeed. But that very idea that discipline has to be painful, that's exactly why so many of us just give up.
Because here's the big reframe. The problem isn't that you lack discipline. Not at all. The real problem is what you're being disciplined towards. You are actually an incredibly disciplined person, but you might be disciplined toward a subconscious goal of staying exactly where you are right now. Think about it. Your brain is a goal-achieving machine, and if its current #1 goal is don't change, well, it's going to be really, really good at that.
Okay, so if your brain's big goal is just to keep things the same, where the heck did it get that idea? Well, it all comes from one single, super powerful place, your identity. I'm telling you, your actions, your habits, what feels easy, what feels impossible, it all starts with who you think you are. And this brings us to the core concept, identity-based action. It's a fancy term, but the idea is simple. It's when you stop trying to do things and you just are the kind of person who does them. The action isn't a chore anymore. It's just you being you. It's proof of who you already are. You know what I'm talking about. Think back to school. There was always that one kid, right? The good student. Studying for 12 hours straight didn't seem like torture to them. It was easy. Why? Because their whole identity was wrapped up in being a good student. Every hour in the library just confirmed that story they told themselves. Or picture this, the bodybuilder. For them, the real pain isn't dragging themselves to the gym. No way. The real pain is missing a gym day. The pain is eating a slice of pizza. And why is that so painful? Because it's a direct threat to who they are. It messes with their identity as a fit, healthy person. It feels fundamentally wrong to them. And it's the same thing with, say, a top-tier gamer. They can sit there laser-focused for hours on end, doing something that would make most of us go cross-eyed. But to them, it's not a chore. It's not work. It's just who they are. It's an expression of their skill. So you see the pattern here? It's this wild inversion. For people who are just acting out their identity, the hard thing is actually painful not to do. But for the rest of us, fighting against our identity, that same exact thing is painful to do. It's the same action, but inside your head, it's a completely different world. All right, so what if you're in that spot right now? You feel stuck, you're in that weird limbo where you're kind of disgusted with your old self, but you haven't quite built the new one yet. Well, guess what? That's not failure. That's the starting line. Welcome to your laboratory of discomfort. This is where the magic happens. That feeling, that nagging, constant feeling of being stuck and just fed up with your current life, that's not a bug, it's a feature. That's the signal that change is starting to bubble up. You don't run from that feeling, you lean into it. That's the engine for this whole thing. It's your brain screaming, hey, this identity we've been running with, it's not working anymore. Time for an upgrade. Yeah, listen to this quote. You have to become hyper-aware of how painful your current situation is. That's how you change your identity. The strategy is brilliant, right? It's not about focusing on how hard the future's going to be. It's about getting brutally honest about how much your present sucks. You have to magnify the pain of staying the same until the pain of changing looks like a relief. That's how you get leverage on yourself. Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do you actually do it, right? Let's get out of the theory and into the practical. Here's a 4-step blueprint you can use to literally engineer a new identity. So the whole process breaks down into 4 main parts. First, recognition. Second is something called strategic dissonance. Sounds complicated, but it's not. Third, environment engineering. And the last one, number 4, is self-experimentation. Let's walk through each one. So, step one is recognition. This is where you have to have a really honest moment with yourself and realize that the goals you're chasing, well, you probably didn't even choose them. They were kind of installed in you by your parents, by school, by society. The very first step is just waking up to that fact and asking, wait a minute, is this what I actually want? Okay, step two, strategic dissonance. This is where you get proactive. I want you to literally stare down the path you're on right now. If you change nothing, where does this road lead in 5 years, 10 years? And you gotta let yourself feel how much you don't want that future. You intentionally create that friction, that dissatisfaction, until the pain of staying where you are is way worse than the fear of trying something new. Step three, and this one is huge today, environment engineering. Look, your identity is basically programmed by the information you let into your brain every day. So you have to take control of the input. And it's not just about, unfollowing toxic accounts. It's about consciously curating your digital world. If you want to be a filmmaker, your Instagram, your YouTube, your podcasts, they should all be full of filmmaking. You have to immerse your brain in the world you want to be a part of. And finally, step four, self-experimentation. This is the fun part. This is not about picking one new identity and just white-knuckling your way through it. No, this is about becoming a scientist in the lab of your own life. You try a bunch of new things, hobbies, skills, little side projects. You're basically hunting for the thing that gives you that little dopamine hit of excitement and progress. You're looking for what feels like play, not just more work. So when you put this all together, what you're really doing is making a fundamental shift in how you see the world. You're moving away from that constant draining effort of doing stuff, and you're stepping into the effortless state of just being the kind of person who does that stuff naturally. Man, I love this quote because it just sums up the whole philosophy perfectly. Try everything until you find the one thing that you can't pull yourself away from. Then you repeat that process until it becomes who you are. See, it's not about forcing it. It's about searching until you find the thing that just clicks, the thing that feels like it was made for you. And that really is the main takeaway here, the crucial point. True, lasting discipline, it isn't built. It's discovered. It just shows up as a natural byproduct of the person you consciously decide to become. It's a side effect, not the main goal. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. Forget for a minute about what you need to do. Forget the to-do lists. Just ask yourself this. Who do you need to become to make your goals feel totally, completely inevitable?